It's the guns. It's mental health. Those are the two phrases that get thrown around as what's to blame in the wake of deadly mass shootings like the one we had at Annunciation Church. We've talked about both this week. Tonight, we're going to take a close look, however, at the federal grant program for school mental health in Minnesota and the changes that have led to programs in our state losing their funding. Here's Danny Spiewak.
After the 2022 mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, Democrats and Republicans in Congress negotiated a landmark gun violence prevention bill known as the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. The law signed by President Biden included $1 billion for school mental health grants.
Despite the naysayers, we can make meaningful progress.
The grants included more than $10 million for two projects at the University of Minnesota School Psychology Program, known as Project Lyme and Project Aware, allowing graduate students to provide mental health services in local districts like Minneapolis and St. Paul public schools.
To provide teams of students that we could deploy out to high-need buildings in the district to better support student mental health.
But Associate Professor Faith Miller says those grants are being terminated at the end of the year due to sweeping changes made by the U.S. Department of Education under the Trump administration.
It's very chaotic, very uncertain, and I think a lot of us are wondering, who's going to be paying the cost of this at the end of the day? It's going to be the students and families that we've been working to support.
The cancellation of these grants came up at a news conference this week from Bloomington Mayor Tim Bussey.
If you truly believe that mental health is part of the solution here, if you're not just swapping out thoughts and prayers for mental health solutions, it's time to speak up.
The Trump administration takes a different view. A U.S. Department of Education spokesperson says it's not canceling the funding, but will re-award the money at the end of the year, saying in a statement the department is strengthening the mental health grant programs and running a new competition to fund mental health practitioners on the ground working with local schools and students. This is a departure from the Biden administration's implementation of the program that instead focused on illegally awarding grants based on the mental health professional's race or sex. But the University of Minnesota's program has not shied away from its goal of increasing the number and diversity of school psychologists.
Having a workforce that represents the individuals you're serving is a really important thing. And so really disappointed to see that specifically was of issue to the current administration.
The University of Minnesota School Psychology Program appealed the termination of their grants, but they told us one of those appeals has already been denied. Meanwhile, the Rochester Public Schools are also losing a school mental health program as part of these cuts. The district told us it's appealing too, but hasn't heard back. Danny Spiewak, KARE 11 News.